What's happening, good people? What's going on with you? Boy, we got to talk.
What we got to talk about, G-Man?
Oh, we got to talk about this Charlie Kirk mess. We got to remember that, several years ago that we were all in disbelief when we saw planes flying into the World Trade Center. So, again, we talk about the ones we lost and the ones that are survivors that just remember those that got killed. What was it, almost 3,000 and something?
3-something thousand.
Yeah.
And you know what's the amazing thing, bro?
What?
I don't know if anybody else paid attention to this, but I was watching the news today, and there has been no mention of 9/11 whatsoever.
Yes. Oh, they did
local
a
news.
ceremony.
I didn't see it at all.
They did a ceremony this morning on air.
Yeah, but I didn't see it at all on like the local news at 12 o'clock. I saw nothing.
Oh, at 12 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah, like you gotta get up in the morning, bro.
I'm not.
saying.
I don't get up at 4:30 in the morning to watch the news like you, bro.
Well, they started this morning. I think it's 7. So, what you doing in the bed?
Call you Walter Concrete Jr.
Concrete. Not concrete. Concrete. That's what they call me. Mm-hmm. But no, I do get up in the morning and turn on the news at 4:30 every morning. Cause I gotta know what's going on in the
You
world.
probably have dreams about the news.
I usually so I'm glad you brought that up because I do fall asleep with the news on, and I don't sleep sound. So
Right.
it's like something's on the TV, and I end up almost believing that I'm in it.
I've had that happen. That's why I turn the TV off when I go
Yeah.
to sleep now.
I'm having to turn my volume all the way down, because of that. So
I had a dream I was in Mayberry, and that did it for me.
you dream what?
I had a dream I was in Mayberry. That did it for me. I said, oh, no.
What you was Barney?
It happened to be on TV, and I heard it in my sleep, and I started dreaming about it.
Have mercy. So well,
B was fine, boy. No, anyway.
you just nasty. That's all. I was just
Yeah.
saying.
I'm hanging with you, so hey.
You are not blaming that one on me, boy. No way whatsoever. So everybody's talking about, especially black people. Well, not especially. Let me rephrase that again, because gotta watch what you say, because people live on every word you say, and then they want to call you and check you on what you did say. So let me say this: this Charlie Kirk thing is getting out of hand. It's a conversation. My condolences to his wife and family, but Charlie Kirk was one of the biggest, fastest, racist, whatever you want to call him, in the country, and he was adjacent to the biggest, fastest, and racist in the country, which is the president of the United States. And I couldn't believe the fact that he said, "Let's fly our flags at half staff." I was like, for what? In honor of Charlie Kirk. I was like, please don't do it. But are we prepared to have this conversation? Because listen, I think it's interesting that folks are saying, "Oh no, this person did this and he did this," and I'm like, no, he was racist. Did you see the unedited version of the assassination?
Send it to me.
So you did not see it. Him sitting on a bench underneath that tent, having a conversation with like 3,000 young folks. And as he said something, you heard a shot. Pow! And they got a camera on him, and whoever it was got him right in the jugular. So all you see is blood squirting everywhere.
Somebody was a sharpshooter.
So, and had a scope.
What?
Probably had a scope because they shot him from a distance. Had a scope, and they probably had a like a tripod to steady him. Because they shot him from a distance with a high-powered rifle. And I'm just thinking to myself, this was a political assassination. I was even talking to one of my friends. They were like, "Nah, I don't even use the word assassination." And I thought about it, and I was like, then I looked up the word assassination, because what we were discussing with the word assassination is usually a political figure that has been elected.
He wasn't political.
He is political, but he was not elected for anything. And he was never holding seat for any seat in the House, Senate, none of that. So I didn't want to use the word assassination. But as I looked up the word itself and said, give me the real definition of assassination. And then it made me go, okay, the assassination is something that, usually somebody that holds a opinion, but is often about political reasons, the act or an instance of assassinating someone, treacherous destruction of a person's reputation. And then they used the word a couple of times in a couple of sentences, but I thought that was irrelevant. So that's all I thought. T-Bone,
Hey, G.
what's
I'm sorry. I know I'm breaking protocol by calling so early, man.
what protocol is that?
Normally, you go into your spill and then you open up the line.
Oh, that's all right. Go ahead.
So, sorry, I'm in traffic, dog, and no AC, so you're going to catch that background noise.
We can't hear it.
Okay, here's the deal. And this might seem kind of callous, but I kind of heard this on another show. It's really hard for me to be totally sympathetic and surprised at this. We've talked about this several times that the rhetoric that they've used, the hatred, the ignorance, the sheer anger that they've used in politics of today has led to this. Me and you are stable minded enough not to go out there and kill somebody who is against our points of view. Me and you are logical enough to want to have an actual intellectual conversation, a debate on why did you vote this way? Why did you vote for him? What issues are you looking at? But it's sad to see that now, and I'm gonna borrow this from Malcolm X. The chickens have come home to roost. See, you can talk about lynching black folks, putting them in jail, exporting that riffraff out of our country, deporting people, and don't care how you do. You can talk about it all you want. But let me tell you something. This bully pulpit that the right has been promoting has led to this. What happens when some people get bullied for so long is one of two things. They either keep coping with it for their own reasons, whether they think they can't fight back or they're trying not to get in trouble and they just take it. Or they pick up that brick I talked about. Or they pick up something right near them that they know they can fight back with. When you push people beyond their boiling point, this is what happens. And unfortunately, this is going to lead to more bloodshed. If Donald J. Trump wants to really look like a president right now, he needs to come out and say we need to calm down some. The other political leaders along the spectrum need to come out and say we need to be better than this as Americans and not let our political views degrade into this. And you know what? The sad part is because the majority voted through this type of hatred and ignorance and anger, they're not going to. Donald J. Trump is trying to figure out right now how not to go on television and say we need to lynch whoever's involved and whoever we suspect was involved.
Well, you don't need to really, because everybody else is doing it. I mean, I've gotten
And
all these
and that's
law enforcement
sad.
notices and
That's
everything
sad
saying the same thing.
commentary with this G, and that's why I'm. It's hard for me, but it's not so hard for me to be callous about this. They've brought this on themselves. Let me ask you this, and I'm not wishing this on nobody. I'm not wishing this for any of them. Can you imagine the outcry from this country if Kamala Harris had gotten shot?
If she had gotten shot?
Whoa. Imagine if President Obama got shot when him and his wife stepped out of that limo after he got elected. I want y'all to put that in y'all minds for a second, because that's the history of this country.
Political violence. We all, yeah, we kind of know that. So.
Put it on your minds for a second if somebody decided, even though Jesse Jackson hasn't run for a black presidency in years, if somebody killed him.
So what are you saying, though? What about it, though? We don't wish nothing on?
I'm saying that the attitude, the temerity of this country and its political views have nourished, and maybe nourished nothing. It has grown and fertilized this dissent, this anger to go out and want to kill people whose political views are against you.
But that didn't just start. That's been. That's been.
No,
I mean,
but now it's worse, bro, because now you don't know who's next.
You never know who's next until it happens.
But now it's worse because now you really have to consider who is next. You really do. See, before it used to be, oh, well, they have enough security in place. That's not going to happen. Oh, he has Secret Service. Oh, they're going to keep those type of people from the rallies. You can't tell that.
Man. Okay.
You cannot tell that.
All right. I got all these folks holding on here to get through, so let me get all the folks.
Okay, well, one last thing I want to say. One thing I want to say, because somebody else might not say it. Let's give it up to President Obama, because guess what? 9/11 happened, and he promised we was going to get who was involved, and he did it. And the other side never wants to give him credit for it and still does not till this day.
All right.
All right?
T-Bone.
All right, y'all.
All right. Coleman.
Hey, cuz.
What's happening with you? Oh, this
How you
cuz.
doing?
I thought you took back our relationship or something. I was like, I ain't heard from cousin at all.
No, we've been traveling, and
Oh, that's what the people with money do.
I went to Cancun for my birthday week celebration, and we did a few other trips and
Oh
etc.
man, that's what the people with all the money do. So you know.
Well, that's what retired people do.
Well, happy belated birthday, by the way.
I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to my 80-year bash that we're gonna do next year, and look, and count now. We don't just say make 80 and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to talk about the shot. I'm not, the politics of the person. I'm not going to talk about that.
Is that military?
No. Look, this is what I want to talk about. You do not. Well, I'm gonna just say in my training, you do not aim for the juggler.
He missed his mark.
The rifle, the rifle, the scope may have not been aligned properly, or he did not do his elevation and then take into consideration the windage, because you aim for a bigger target, the head, or either like we say center mass. So by him hitting the juggler, I'm gonna just say it like this. I'm just judging. He got off a lucky shot because the thinness of the jugular vein. That's not something you want to shoot at.
No.
Because the person's gonna bleed out. Well, if you're gonna kill, you're going for the impact. That's the heart and the brain, or the head, because the caliber you're using, when it hits you, it's gonna destroy your nervous system. So you're gonna be gone anyway. But to hit the juggler, that was just a lucky shot that he got off.
And he
I
bled
mean,
out.
you say a kill shot, but you know what I'm talking about. Those who shoot, well, who really shoot, they know. And shooting from 100 yards with a let's just say a deer rifle, that's not a hard target to hit with a deer rifle. They got folks that could shoot 500 yards with greater accuracy, and if you have a 50 caliber, hey, 10,000 yards.
Well, if he would have had a 50 caliber that length, he would have blew his head off.
No, I'm just saying 10,000. I'm saying 1,000 yards. That's 10 football fields.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. Just so people could get their eyes trained on a football field with 100 yards versus 10 football fields is 1,000 yards.
I got you.
That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah.
But my whole point to the folks here today is not about the caliber or who did this or who did that. That young man, don't nobody want to talk about him being assassinated. But my whole point was and is, how are folks feeling about it? Because a lot of folks are just saying, nobody wants to hear anything about anybody being killed, especially with political violence. But I think this guy's karma. I think Charlie Kirk just got karma altogether. He's the one that's always talking about folks that doing stuff like this, that somebody needs to die or get shot or killed.
Well, we could say the same thing. We talked about this. The insurance executive that was shot a few months back,
so it's karma.
Last year.
So you think it's karma?
People in general just getting tired of the BS that's going down. We have trained homegrown terrorists. We trained them.
Right.
With all them little violent video games we've been selling, all the violent movies we go see. You get sensitized to doing stuff, and et cetera, and et cetera. But the person who did what he did, they already got the rifle. Okay. So it's just a matter of time when they back check, and they got an image of him already. So he don't have he ain't got too far to run.
Okay.
That's the point that I'm gonna make.
All right.
He don't have too far to run.
All right, cousin. I gotta take good to hear back from you. I was wondering where you was.
All right, I got you a souvenir. Ha ha ha.
I don't know if I want that. I'll talk to you later.
Bye, cuz.
All right, we got more coming up. Galloway, hold on. You coming up next.
Hey y'all, make sure you tune in on Thursdays at 12:30 p.m. for the Roux with Chef Bunny, sponsored by Blue Plate Mayonnaise on WBOK 12:30 a.m.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
The National World War II Museum. Located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans, the National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504 207-3060.
I think it's
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. I think it's worth to have a cost of.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, we're right back at you. All right, Galloway, what you say, man? Thanks for holding.
What's going on, brother Gerod? How you doing?
Man, hanging in here. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm chilling. That's all I'm saying. But I listened to your last call of your cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to qualify with when I first joined with M16s,
Right.
with iron sights. We didn't have optics when I first joined. We didn't start using optics till I started retiring to qualify.
So you had to look through that. You had to look through. You're not looking through no type of scope.
No type of scopes and none of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that the man's been shot from 200 meters or 200 yards to 500 yards. I really don't know. My thing is, yeah, that you can say that was a lucky shot, but as long as you hit one shot, one kill, you good. Now, we are taught to aim center mass. You aim at that chest, that upper torso, basically aiming at the heart. That's basically where you want to put those line your sights up at. Now, I don't know if he was aiming at his throat or not, but I'm so glad that radio stations like yourself and other black radio stations are telling the truth. This wasn't no Boy Scout that got shot.
Nope.
This man has said a lot of evil stuff about black people, period.
Mm-hmm.
Women in particular. This man has talked about Dr. Martin Luther King. This man has talked about the Civil Rights Act, calling black women only reason why you got a job because you took a white person's spot.
Yep.
I don't trust if a black pilot is flying, is he qualified? Or would I want a black female nurse working on me? I mean, just not a couple of weeks ago, he blamed the floods in Texas on a black fire chief that lived where I live. That man was 3 hours away and had nothing to do with the flood. So this guy is not, it's hard for me to have sympathy for somebody who runs his mouth. This man been all the way in Europe running his mouth. He believed in that white Anglo-Saxon Protestant stuff. And he praised one of them old preachers that died that said black people were slaves or belonged better in slavery. That's who Charlie Kirk looked up to and praised. But the most disturbing thing I heard today, there's 7 HBCUs on lockdown right now.
Yes.
That is disturbing to me.
Yes.
This happened in Salt Lake City, Utah. I guarantee you, those 7 HBCUs don't even know who the hell Charlie Kirk is. But you want to spread your evilness. We ain't got nothing to do with this. That's on y'all over there killing each other. You know, when I like to say, oh, black on black crime, that's their business. How about you white on white crime this one and leave us out of this stuff? We got way too much going on to be worried about that crazy guy, Charlie Kirk. When you run your mouth, karma comes back to get you sometime.
Yep. And that's karma. I really believe that's karma talking.
Yes.
That's why we
and
just played what he said.
Yes. I mean, if you listen to some of that stuff this man talk, I'm like, there's nowhere in the world a black person can get on TV and be acknowledged. Can you imagine me saying this and President Barack Obama praising me? The world will go crazy right now.
Yep.
I'd be called every black supremacist and I hate white people and all this other stuff, but they are praising somebody who practiced and believed in white supremacy.
Right.
That's not cool. But they got to leave these colleges alone. These HBCUs ain't got nothing to do with this. You know, the only black people in Utah is the Utah Jazz. That's it. Ain't none of us over that way, man.
The ones playing
That's
basketball.
all I had to say today.
Yes, indeed.
I have a good one, brother. Thank you for
all right,
taking my call.
appreciate you again, Galloway. Thanks. All right, Mr. Elmore.
Hey, man. First of all, when Pelosi's husband got almost murdered to death, you didn't hear no conservatives, mega people really saying they thought that was wrong. Okay, that was one thing. And we live in a situation right now, man, where the leadership of this country, man, is off the charts, man. I mean, it's ridiculous to think about it, And when you have a leader like Trump, and Trump basically said he try to make people believe a leader's supposed to, regardless of your political affiliation. Like myself, I know what happened was not a good thing to happen, but ain't no love lost. I mean, I'm not. Listen, I'm sorry he got shot, but I mean, ain't no love lost with me and him because first and foremost, he was what they call Judeo-Christian. He was Judeo-Christian, and he was a white supremacist in a way of things that he said. So and then you had the president of the United States just echoing his sentiment, like as though people on our side was for him to get shot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like him, but I didn't. I mean, I'll be very honest with you. I don't like him, but I never wanted him to get shot. But the bottom line is, I mean, we live in a world right now, man. The leadership we got, man, is phone is a $6 bill, and you have anytime God knows what's going to happen on just like you have conservatives radicalized. Oh, you got liberal Democrats radicalized too. Mm-hmm. So let's not make it look like it's just one way. And no, when you look at what's going on today, they look at just like the mega people look at us as a threat. We look at them as a threat. Now, I don't want to kill nobody because I don't like what you're saying politically. But I mean, you got to understand, this man is harming a lot of people on their rhetoric. The president's doing a lot of things. Right today, man, the FBI suing the former FBI personnel or suing the president, the Justice Department, because they felt they were let go illegally because of the political understanding. Because they felt you can't let me go as an FBI agent because you feel I'm a Democrat that voted for Obama or voted for Harris. You can't fire me for that. I wasn't supposed to take no loyalty test to you. Even I was in the military, Gerod. I didn't take no loyalty test for the president of the United States. I gave a rat's ass about Nixon when I joined the military. I took a loyalty test to my country, my citizens like yourself. That before you knew who I was, you was paying my wage. American citizens pay my wage. So I had a loyalty to American people. You get the picture?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I never loyal to the president of the United States, man.
Okay.
I mean, I had to respect the president every time I looked at his ugly ass, Nixon or whoever was in there, Ford, Nixon, when I was in office, or when I was in the military. But I mean, I respect American citizens. American citizens pay my way.
Okay. All right. Let me get these
So
other conversations because I got everybody hanging on.
Man.
All right. All right. Cedric. Did he hang up? He hung up? All right. I lost two. Did I hit the wrong button? I think I hit the wrong button. Y'all can call me back. I'm sorry. All right. So let me get into, and I guess y'all understand what we're talking about today. I kind of knew this was going to be a hot topic to have a conversation about because Charlie Kirk was divisive. And I say that in past tense in all due respect of him being killed. He was very divisive. And anything that had anything to do with black people, in particular black people, he was against. And I didn't like the fact that he was, just 30 years old, having conversations with grown-ass men and women about the culture of black people and how we behave as black people when history has told us that the biggest terrorists in the country are usually white men. I'm just being honest. It's not somebody from Pakistan, Afghanistan, or across the water. The biggest terrorists in the United States are usually white men that have political beliefs that don't want to see any other race of people in this melting pot we call America get anything that they don't have, including political power. It's always been that way since the day that we learned about Abraham Lincoln going to a daggone opera and somebody walks up behind him and shoots him in the back of the head. And I'm thinking to myself, for you to stand up and say that political power is for white men only, And what you're going to have in America today should be more political depths so that we can really exercise our daggone rights. Well, what you got yesterday to today? Karma. Now, if some of this sounds like, or it sounds like you saying it's good that he dead. No, it is not. Nobody wants to hear that somebody got killed over their political beliefs, but words have power. Words have meaning. You got to really watch what you say. Cedric.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good, and you?
I'm good. But I tell you, it's called, in my opinion, this is nothing but karma. You know, somewhere in the Bible I read, he that lives by the sword dies by the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in the Bible I read that there's power of life and death in the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody celebrates in someone getting killed, but here again, this is above our pay grade. Whoever did that from 500 yards, 200 yards from the side,
right.
Granted, it's sad that his wife and his children are gonna grow up without a father. But one of his disrespectful comments was talking about black men abandoning the women that they impregnated. He had no respect for black women.
None.
So how do you expect me to care for somebody that does not care about me? Or that does not care about people that look like me? And that ties it back into why this mayoral race is so important. These current elections. This had nothing to do, I believe, thus far with black people, but yet you got 7 historically black colleges on lockdown, and one of them is 80 miles from here. Southern University is one of the colleges, historically black colleges, that's on lockdown.
Right.
Now, this happened in Utah. We know there ain't got no black people, not that many black people in Utah.
No, but that's not the reason why they're on lockdown. The reason that they're on lockdown is because it seems that the fascist white men that are angry that Charlie Kirk has been killed are making threats to say that they want to kill at least every one of them should have at least 40 people that are black that they need to kill. And they've threatened 3 of the HBCUs across the country, but they're putting all of them now on some type of alert to let them know that that could be happening in your part of town, even though that this happened in Utah.
Right. According to the news on NBC, it was 3 on the East Coast and southern in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, we know when people tell us don't put race into it, it ain't nothing but racism. And why do we think that folk are going to take care of us better than we're going to, or we should be taking care of ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
We need to wake up. I know Dr. King and them flipping over in their graves, especially Gerod and WBOK family, at what's happening with all these Negroes supporting a non-Negro that ain't white for mayor of a majority black city.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good one, man. It's sad.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad that
it's pathetic.
We all end up, I think, in my opinion, we all end up victims of innocence or victims of stupidity that happens on a national level, comes home to roost on a local level. And I was just thinking to myself as we talked about this, because, and I think this is important. So y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Since we seem to be the topic of conversation with all of this stupidity, how do black folks end up being the topic of conversation to this stupidity? So to me, now this is just me, it's apparent to me that white people, white fascist a prejudice, whatever you want to call them. If that don't concern you, if that's not you, then don't worry about what I'm saying. But if it is you, I hope you're listening. It allows me to know that you all knew that this man was the worst enemy of black people that he could, because all he did was continuously spew hate that had black people in it more than any other nationality. You had to know. You have to know. And the reason I say that you have to know, because now y'all done made us a part of the problem, like we the ones that killed him. Y'all know that was a white man that killed him. That wasn't even a white woman. That was a white man that killed that boy.
Hopefully.
No, it was.
No, I say hopefully, as he is in hell, he gets tortured by nothing but black people. Every day, every night, 24/7.
I ain't gonna wish that on nobody, bro, because that could happen to you. Here, karma's a bitch, and you need to remember that too when you say that. I can't wish no torture on nobody in hell.
Well, I mean, he was torturing us when he was here, so.
No, those are just words.
Mm-hmm.
Those were just words. How you respond to those words is exactly what we talked about when we started the conversation. Words have meaning. But my whole point to you is, if you're weak-minded and you follow that, that's on you. These some weak-minded ass people that are looking for an excuse.
And they always look for an excuse.
And now they got it.
They always look for an excuse.
But they got it. So now all of them are getting together like, I just saw not too long ago before I got here that they got a rally with, something about white people. And they screaming out white people because of Charlie Kirk getting killed. Now, understand something else too. Yesterday, they had gun violence at a school yesterday where 2 kids got shot. Nobody. Yep. I saw it on the news maybe once.
That was in Denver, right?
I think that's where it was, yeah. But they interrupted regular programming on all the cable news networks, on the NBC, CBS, ABC, to talk about Charlie Kirk. And held the press conference where everybody was watching for at least 30 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what about the kids? Your president comes on, sitting down at his desk with all of his chief or whatever's standing around him, talking about Charlie Kirk, and then had the audacity to say that we're going to fly the flags at the White House and nationwide yesterday, half-mast in honor of him. I was like, y'all got to be kidding me. I started calling folks that I know that was in charge. I hope you ain't flying your flag, because to me, that's an insult. And it is. It's an insult for somebody to have such foul language about the color of your skin. And then to say that you're a hero? Ain't no hero. That ain't no hero at all.
That's a zero.
And I think Don Lemon said it better than anybody yesterday as they talked about this issue. You can go ahead before you go to break. You don't want to play it before you go to break? Huh? I sent you another one to play.
You didn't say play it before break.
Yeah, I said you can play it. That's why I was telling
I'll play it coming back.
All right.
Yeah. Cool. It's more dramatic.
Help him, Jesus. Take the wheel. All right,
you
y'all,
taught me.
Coming up.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 1230 a.m. on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
Join New Schools for New Orleans, All-State Sugar Bowl, and Integy New Orleans in recognizing and celebrating the Teachers of the Year at our 4th annual New Orleans Excellence in Teaching Awards Gala. The gala will take place Saturday, November 1st at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. This year's gala will feature New Orleans legend DJ Jubilee. Don't miss out on this intimate celebration supporting our New Orleans public school teachers. Tickets can be purchased on our website, newschoolsforneworleans.org.
From Gentilly to New Orleans East, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Charlie Kirk was no angel. Charlie Kirk said horrible things about black women, about black people, about George Floyd, about diversity, equity, and inclusion. He said racist, horrible things. He said sexist things about women. Nobody's taking glee in Charlie Kirk's death. As a matter of fact, the opposite. I believe the president of the United States, if he's going to address the nation or give a statement, it should be about gun violence and how we stop gun violence, not to make a hero out of Charlie Kirk. And so we have to be honest about who Charlie Kirk was without taking glee in the horrible tragedy that befell him yesterday.
Children were killed in Colorado yesterday in another separate shooting, and Donald Trump hasn't made a statement about that. But when I listened to Donald Trump's statement that he did make, he didn't talk about, like you said, gun violence. He painted this glorious picture of Charlie Kirk, which you have already pointed out is not accurate. And then he talked specifically about the radical left. The way that he's using this for political expediency, the way that he's addressing the nation when he doesn't address it for many other serious topics, the way he conveniently ignores everything to go immediately after Charlie Kirk was great and the radical left did this, the words that he is saying is inciting more violence.
Charlie Kirk.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. We have and I don't have like data, a whole bunch of data. But if I go back and take a look, when we start talking about black people that hold roles, I'll even say in judicial systems, or those folks that have some political ties to those that have, I guess, the ability to make decisions politically. To defend who I am in my role, to make you look like you don't know what you're doing, I have to dirty you up. I have to make you look like you never knew what you were doing. Here are the decisions that you made. And I see that all the time with black leadership. Have you all noticed that? It's more now than ever. Not only from a national standpoint, but from a local standpoint. And this incident, where we don't know who the shooter was, we don't know what the shooter looks like, we don't know. Have you all noticed that somebody black has already received the finger pointing? They don't know who it is. But that person, and they say it's a he, has already received the finger pointing. Now, the suspect that they have the photo of, with the black t-shirt on, the jeans and the hat and the glasses, the sunglasses, don't look black. This looks like your average white boy that's trying to look black. It's plenty of them. I know I'm getting in trouble for that one, but it's true. And they have notified the rest of the world that this is a person of interest in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. As I was having a conversation online about this, I asked the folks that were online with me, look at this person of interest and tell me, does he look black? And they said no. He does not. But is he making himself try to look that way so that they will get off track and give the folks that are getting ready to make the decision the opportunity to say that's who he is? Well, I got some news there, Elroy. What I'm thinking about is the fact that y'all already got it wrong one time before. Y'all do realize that, right? This ain't the first time in the last 24 hours that they've gotten it wrong. Well, what you mean? Because the first person that they stopped, that they thought they had, that was the shooter, was an older man, an older white man. And it wasn't him. They let him go. So in my eyes, you're doing the homework here to try to find out who the person is, and somebody, not saying that this is the FBI, not saying that this is any law enforcement agency, but somebody has already put out here, it's a black man. What? What I have a problem with in this whole scenario is neither the FBI, the CIA, the Homeland Security, nobody has come back to refute what this instigator has said. They don't know who it is. And unless that person is in the decision-making room, how do they know? Who made the decision to let that person say anything? Who is that person? Nobody knows. Now, nobody in law enforcement has come back and said, you heard the rumors, those that are online, saying that this is a black man, da-da-da. Let us be the first to let you know that we don't know who this is or what their race are. We don't know. We're looking, though, and if you have any information, let us know. Wouldn't that be the responsible thing to do? How about if there is a black person that kind of is light-skinned, walking around with a hip-hop outfit on, and somebody that's just looking for somewhere to point that finger says, there they are. There he is. That had nothing to do with this, was nowhere near the scene, but because of a likeness, you want me to be the scapegoat. Can you imagine how hard that person or whoever that person is going to have to go through just because the look of them? Do you imagine what they're going to go through? Because there's going to be some nuts out here that's going to say, I don't care what they said. I believe it's you anyway. And let me curl something up for you. Yeah, I'm curling it. Y'all can talk about all the violence that's happening in the black communities all you want. But some of the most violent stuff that I've seen in the last 24, 48 hours makes me really go back and say, the FBI has come out and said, you all are some of the most violent people in America. We need to really adhere to that. Anytime that everybody says, oh, they got all this violence going on in their community. Well, what about yours? What about yours? What about political violence that don't even concern you because somebody opened up their mouth and said something? We ready to kill them. How about it, black people? God forgive me for this one. And I know y'all going to call me and want to chew me out for this one. But what about it, black people took the stance that every single time that you have a black person in custody, blame them for something, hold them down and try to kill them or put some type of harm on them? How about it, black men raised up and was ready to beat your ass? And you ain't had nowhere to go because we find out where you live, we find out what your house number is, your telephone number, where you work, and we showed up. How about if we did that? Because at one point in time in America, black men did do that. And we ain't playing with you. Now, this ain't your mama's or your daddy's community no more. These young fools out here today, and I'm sorry I'm calling y'all fools, you know what I mean. I say that with love. Y'all say that, y'all do that again. Do that again. You gonna see some young folks show up at your job, show up at your house, show up where you go out. These ain't the same folks. And you need to really start paying to that. Don't play with my mama. Don't play with my mama. Don't play with my sister. And if you're playing with my wife and children, expect that beat down. And I mean that from every light-skinned morsel on my body. I'm telling you, this is a whole different. Y'all want to start some war? You don't want that. Not over no political decision that you ain't going to be involved in the first place. I think most black people have learned to take this and just turn the other cheek. But a lot of these little young guys out here today, they ain't turning the cheek. I heard you the first time. And ain't turning no cheeks. So please, learn how to live with your neighbor, because this is supposed to be the country of the free, and we're supposed to be a melting pot because we've got all types of people here. Y'all are talking about some move out, go back to Africa, go back where you live, because y'all didn't start this. If you want to give this back to the natives, it would be the Indians, not you, not you. But all of this, in the time that we're living in, the only person that I could think of that's really stirring it up is your leader, your president. Who would have ever thought that we be living in a time where the president of the United States is not representing everybody? He representing himself and white people only. I'm just saying. It's just how it is. A lot of people won't get on the radio and talk about it because they don't want the backlash. Honey child, my middle name is Backlash.
You did not say honey child.
Yes, I did. And
forgot to snap your neck.
And I'm getting tired of having to deal with this. Every week, we got something new. Every week, it's coming out the White House. Every week, these detractors want to get some of the information and try to detract it from Trump and the Epstein files. And then somebody becomes the sacrificial lamb. That's where we at right now. All right, y'all. We got news coming up, and we'll come back. Take some more of your telephone calls. 504-582-9422. Get in contact with us. More next.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is brushing off reports he'll quit the mayor's race.
Next question.
Adams says he's staying in as an independent despite rumors of a Trump administration job offer. Trump has urged Adams and Republican Curtis Sleewood to drop out to boost Andrew Cuomo against frontrunners Aram Mamdani. A black Minnesota man is free after 27 years for a murder he didn't commit. Brian Hooper was sentenced to life in 1998, but the key witness recently confessed to the crime. Hooper, now 54, walked out of Stillwater Prison to reunite with his children. And rapper Young Thug is apologizing to girlfriend Mariah the Scientist after leaked jail calls revealed he was unfaithful. The private conversations, now public, sparked social media buzz. Thug posted on X saying he's sorry and willing to do anything to make the relationship work. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. My number wide open now, 504-582-9422. That's why I'm telling y'all, because this is what I get every day. I say, oh, the line's open. And then you sit there and wait until I get to the end of the show, and then you get mad at me when I don't have enough time to take your call. And then I start getting those telephone calls and emails about, I was hanging on. I have a time schedule that I have to hold. So I'm telling you now that the telephone lines are wide open. 504-582-9422. Do not wait until we get to 15 minutes or 20 minutes to the end of the show, and then everybody starts calling. And I'm not castigating anybody. I'm just saying to you, I can't get to you. And then y'all get mad at me. Be like, how did you become the sacrificial lamb? I don't know. Now, one of the things that I wanted to bring up with this issue is that I think that everybody has said enough about how they feel with Charlie Kirk being killed. They don't wish that on anybody. Don't believe in political violence. But Charlie Kirk did. It wasn't you. It wasn't me. Nobody wished this upon you. But you best believe somebody is going to be, or somebody is going to have some type of opinion about who you are and what you are. And they're going to go against you. With that being said, I was told that he had security. But evidently they didn't have enough security. So it became a political issue when somebody checked it out and said, they don't have enough security. All right, get the gun. Get the gat, get the gat, get the gat. And decided that they were going to take him out. They had enough. They had enough. Y'all don't think that could happen? It's proven that it has. And we all saw that it did. Now, I don't think that, and listen, I'm not wishing this on anybody, but I don't think that this is going to be the only one. Get out of here like that again. And keep opening your mouth, saying stuff against women, saying stuff against men, and showing up in a public place where you got to remember something. He was on a downscope, and those that know anything about shooting, they know what a downscope is. They were elevated. And with them being elevated, whoever that was that took the shot had the advantage. If you all would listen to all the folks, and I'm not going to just say men and women that have military training and understanding what your advantage is. The first one is being on a perch or a level that's shooting down. That's an advantage, especially from a long distance. What you say, Jerry? Jerry?
Hey, G, Gary Barry, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
Oh yeah, it was a good shot. I say hate to hear about anybody getting killed, but hey, there's been some times in the past where he spoke of it, but I'm more concerned about pushing him up. I mean, he wasn't an elected official. He wasn't in public office or whatever. But the way they're rising this cat up, man, it's crazy. My first thoughts was like Kennedy, John and Robert Kennedy, Malcolm X, Martin King, Fred Hampton. Bro, there's been Medgar Evers. There's been so many people assassinated that was for the poor people, or what they want to call the far left.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see this as big a deal as they're making it out to be.
I just didn't like the fact that they put him as
Abraham Lincoln. There's always been political violence.
Right.
So this one instant, but they want to make him like we lost a national hero. We didn't. He wasn't our hero.
Nope.
He's a far right wing Christian nationalist, and hey, that's part of what you get when you go out here like that,
Mm-hmm. And I don't know about this flying your flag at half staff. I'm like, what?
No. Well, 28 years of military, G-man. I believe that everybody's right should be honored, man, as being an American citizen and all. But some people just don't deserve it. I don't think Charlie Kirk deserved it. And I tell you what, I admire the man for putting himself in a position where he would take on challenges and have debates. But, just the content of some of his stuff, I don't go along with it. I'm a pro-Second Amendment Democrat. But the way he did things was to bring attention to that far right Christian radical thing. And he just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well,
and again, you were talking about the shot, and that was a good shot. I mean, if you watch that video, he waited till his head went up, and he got it.
Right.
He was shooting center mass, and he got a good shot.
Yeah. I don't know what he was aiming for. I have no idea. I don't know if he was aiming for head area or was it aiming for.
Well, the type of rifle, if they disclose that, I don't know. They say they think they found the rifle. The type of rifle is going to speak volumes, and the choice of rifle and the choice of scope is going to speak about how good of a shot that sniper might have been.
Yeah, we're gonna find. I know at some point in time we're gonna find out. But do you think it was somebody black?
Man, I don't. They don't know. They don't know. I wouldn't think so. A black in Utah on a rally with him speaking, there would have been eyes on. I wonder how many blacks were on campus.
I don't know, but I mean they had all different types of young folks, no matter what their ethnic background was, but they had all the different folks coming to the microphone. Black kids, Chinese or Asian descent, all of them were coming to the microphone to question Charlie Kirk on some of the rhetoric that he was putting out.
Well, there's all kinds of theories. I'm trying not to pay attention too much to it now. Let the smoke clear after a couple of days, and but I could see things like that happening to Kirk. I mean, it was just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you put yourself out there like that, it seems to be inevitable.
In the way the MAGA movement was always backing him and defending him, you would have think they would have had extra security for him.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't.
Nope.
They did not. He had his own. As a matter of fact, if you look at some of the video, as he's speaking, you can see some of his security detail. But what they gonna do? Are they going to be Secret Service? Nope.
In a case like that, unless you have Secret Service type clearance to have that type of security, you're not if you're not sweeping the rooftops and checking the far perimeter. You're like you said, checking vantage points like the rooftops, elevated things, considering where he was sitting. Your security was lacking. For the profile and the type of talk he was talking, you would have thought they had some of those bases covered.
Let me ask this. I don't think anybody else asked this, though, but I'm going to ask it. Are you surprised that the time and day that we live in now, that we're now seeing more political violence than we saw in the early 80s and 90s?
Well, you used to hear a lot of talk in the 80s and 90s about reaching across the aisle. All right, and then we slid up into the Tea Party era, which morphed into the MAGA era. And no, it's us against them, Gerard.
So you think this is more so us against them?
None of this stuff surprised me. We didn't went back 60 years.
Yeah.
We back 60 years. We back 100 years. I think I put it on your show one day. Google the Klan March of 1925, Washington D.C., and look at from every state in the Union marching on Pennsylvania Avenue and Klan roads. The D.C. Klan March of 1925. There was a big Klan convention in the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
At the kickoff of the height of the Jim Crow really getting started. Right? 1925 to 1965. You had 40 years of foolishness, and we overcame that. 60 years ago, we were making moves, and that lasted about 30 years. But for the last 30 years, it's been pretty much us against them. You know, the poor trying to topple over what the rich is doing to them. You know, and we back in time, man. We need to take some serious history lessons and some real civics lessons when it comes to government and what's been done in the recent past. And this don't surprise me at all. We getting it. They want a civil war. You know. See, I'm a gun dude, and there's a lot of conservatives that I look at their podcasts, I look at their YouTube videos, and they're itching for it. Yeah, that's why to anybody who don't embrace the Second Amendment, you're kind of foolish, because if you can't defend your house and your family against what could possibly happen, think about where we are in New Orleans. We're surrounded by who? Clackamas, Jefferson, St. Bernard, St. Tammany. Red, right? Those parishes.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be blue here in New Orleans. People need to, this mayoral election, people need to pay attention to the people that are supporting the candidates here and why. You know, if there was a race war kickoff, all they would have to do on all four sides is move in, neighborhood by neighborhood. Who's going to really put up a fight?
Who would?
In the Civil War, we're surrounded by red. You know, we're supposed to be a blue city. Right now, we may be a blue city, but that won't last long. Yeah, like I said, I'm paying attention to who's supporting what candidates, and not just the mayor's race, and some of these council races. You got Republicans out of other parishes getting behind our candidates.
You got Republicans of the other parishes that are funding some of these races.
Exactly.
So you should
wonder
see that.
why. Mm-hmm. Leander Perez, he may be dead, but he ain't gone.
Ain't gone.
Harry Lee's still around. Come on, man. I mean, you could call the names. But hey, no, this doesn't surprise me at all. In the talk being talked about, we got to destroy all the left wing liberal lunatics and all this kind of crap. But I'm not surprised.
Yeah. No. Cool then. All right, Jerry. Appreciate you, boss.
All right, Doc. Out.
504-582-9422 is the number. I don't know how I'm feeling about this. I think I'm feeling two different ways. So I usually don't like talking about your feelings because your feelings can be a long way from the facts. We can feel a certain way, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth when we start talking about the facts. The facts have shown that this man, no matter how I like it or how you like it, has had millions of people to follow him in social media. He has turned that social media impact into dollars. Oh, everybody wants to hear what Charlie had to say. Oh, everybody wants to see what he gonna post. I think if many of us could follow a person that has like-mindedness with them, you would then see that it's not you against the world. How many of us, I mean, think about this for a minute, and I'm really serious. How many of us feel that you want to say something politically, respond to somebody politically, but you don't because you don't want the world coming after you? How many of us feel that way? There's plenty of us that got an opinion, but you don't say anything because you know the minute you do, here comes Bubba and his 100 million friends to gang up on you. Almost bully you for having an opinion. We are weak to think that I could sit there and make my opinion, put it out, get everybody with me to jump on you because you have an opinion. And on the other end, the person that's getting ready to receive all that rhetoric, spewing out hatred, spewing out just being dumb. We have to sit around and sit there and handle that. And a lot of us that's watching it, when we get involved, I don't want that type of juice coming this way. So I'm not going to sit back and tell them stop or pick on somebody else that's not going to say something. We're going to make sure that we jump on you, beat you down, so that you have to get off, not me. And that's how it usually goes. And then you have somebody else that jumps in that's the backup that takes it to a whole new level. We are some weak-minded folks. Let me tell you why I say weak-minded folks. The number one reason is you can't have an opinion because somebody's going to take it to another level and be out here looking for you, your home address, talk about your kids, and then I'm going to find you. Some of these folks operate better than CIA or NCIS because they do the homework, stuff that really don't bother nobody else but them. They do the homework to try to find out where you live, where your kids go to school. You agree with me or not? So what? But you want to be Mr. CIA, NCIS. Because you want to find out where the person lives. What you going to do? Some of y'all going to show up at my door and they're going to read about you in the paper the next day. They're going to find you stinking.
Hey, y'all. Yes, Charlie Kirk's death is definitely a tragedy. No one should lose their life to gun violence. But let's be real, y'all. I'm watching folks like Nancy Mace rush to blame Democrats and rush to frame this as some radical left conspiracy. Now tell me, where was that same energy when Melissa Hortman, Speaker of the Minnesota House, and her husband were assassinated? And Senator John Hoffman and his wife were shot in a politically motivated attack. Where was Nancy Mace then? She called it deeply troubling. But did she go on TV every hour pointing fingers at Republicans? Did she make it a rallying cry? Absolutely not. And here's another question. When Minnesota House Speaker Hortman and her husband were gunned down, did Donald Trump order flags to half-staff? No, he did not. Not a word. But when Charlie Kirk died, flags at half-staff nationwide? Now, y'all, that's not unity. That's selective outrage. Let's look at the numbers, shall we? Reuters says there have been more than 300 politically motivated violent attacks since January 6, 2021. And in just the first half of 2025 alone, nearly 150 attacks, double last year's pace. So don't stand there and tell me there's no room for political violence only when it hits your side. Violence is violence, period. I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, but most of all, I'm tired of leaders picking and choosing who gets empathy.
All right, y'all, more coming up. We got to take a break. James, hold on.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by Lowe's.com. Former NBA All-Star Richard Jefferson was a victim of fraud. A person he hired as an assistant stole almost $5 million from him over the course of several years.
When 2008 and that financial crisis hit and everyone started checking their books to make sure everything was good, it was like, wait a second, something's not right.
While the incident could have left Jefferson bitter, in a conversation on Bloomberg, he talked about why he viewed it as a learning experience.
If you would have told me the day I got drafted that I would own my home, my mom and dad would own their home, and neither of us would have to work again, I would sign up. That's the goal, is to change your life. My life was changed, right? That's how I kept myself not being like, woe is me. And honestly, sometimes it's about your L's.
Jefferson isn't ashamed to talk about it either. He wants his experience to serve as a cautionary tale for young athletes. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Late nights are made for chillin', and you can do just that every Sunday night at 10 p.m. as DJ Wick brings you The Love Zone. It's the perfect way to top off your weekend with your favorite old and new school ballads. So sit back, relax, and let DJ Wick take you to the Love Zone on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal.
Well, I said the same thing that everybody says, that his assassination was the result of the climate of hate. But only I said the chickens came home to roost, and which means the same thing.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths.
All right, folks. All right, 504-582-9422 is my number. What you say, James?
Yeah, smack water that. Listen, that whole sermon or speech the caller gave before you went to break, that he was right. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get out of the way. Whole bunch of political laws facing right will be made after this. Thank you for taking my call.
You think there's gonna be some laws made?
Oh yeah,
I don't.
because this is there will be political laws coming, and it's gonna be faced and right.
Nope.
Thank you for taking my call.
Jane, don't hang up on me. We need to discuss that for a minute because I was waiting for somebody to call me with that because I gotta disagree with you, and the reason why.
And that's fine.
But hear me out. Hear me out 1 minute because I want you to comment on it.
Listen, man, this ain't a black or white thing.
Nope.
This ain't a money thing.
Nope.
This is a power grab all across the board, and they will be making some plays for a political power grab.
Nope. Not on this. Let me tell you why. Because this is going to be about gun violence. And at no time have you seen, because that's what the Democrats going to stand for laws about gun violence for their Republican friend. And there will be no changes because that lobby for the gun makers is strong.
Yeah, but there's I'm not. We semi on the same page, bro. You just you talking and not listening. I think that things are gonna go in extreme left facing right, and it's gonna be a political attack towards the Democratic populace. So
what's the political attack you think?
God would be with us. Yahweh with us all. That's just the way I see it, bro. I'm gonna bag out the way.
You ain't gonna go. I know. I just wanted to know what political attack you think it's gonna be. All right, James hung up on me. He won't get into it with me though. I just don't think that there's gonna be no change in gun laws. We've been going through this forever and a day. So whatever the political attack is, wouldn't this be the opportunity for the Democrats to do it? Not the Republicans. I mean, if we want to talk about attacks, they've been attacking. But when we start talking about gun violence, every time there's some gun violence, they say the same thing. Democrats say, this is the perfect time for us to go through. And this bill is supposed to do this. We're supposed to stop having the multi shots for anybody that's got the multi-clip or the clip with over, eight rounds? But as you can see, I just don't think that affected nothing. In this case, ain't got to have a clip with multi-rounds. It was one shot. And I just don't think that there are going to be any changes. Because that gun lobby, do you all realize that one of the top folks for the gun lobby is your congressman? Steve Scalise? Steve Scalise is one of the top advocates for the gun lobby. How ironic, because a lot of folks really don't remember that he was one that was gunned down on a baseball field. And if it wasn't for two black people that had law enforcement skills and are able to shoot back, he would have been killed. All right. What you say, D? D?
Oh, yeah. Good evening, Gerard. I just wanted to switch gears just a little bit because my belief is where history always repeats itself over time.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that, I'm a little bit older, but at one time, the FBI was more powerful than any administration from the 50s and the 60s because they cataloged a lot of information, even on presidents.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who was in charge of that, well, you know, his name was Hoover. He held that over a lot of presidencies that, look, if you don't agree with what I'm doing or what I want to do, I could take you down. And a lot of presidents had to go with whatever Hoover went with until an administration was finally able to reel the FBI back into where it should be.
And that administration is now Trump?
Yeah, and now this administration is taking it to a different level because it wants to control everything.
Right.
You know, and that's dictatorship, and it's power grabs. It's just everybody, when they find they have power to do things, it's a different feeling. I mean, I think Elon Musk thought by having money that he had power, and he found out quickly, even with money, he had no power. He had to be in that position where he was an elected official, whether he was elected or appointed, however you get there. And what they say about power and absolute power, you know, everybody knows the saying, you know, absolute power corrupts.
Yep.
So my thing is, it's nothing but history repeating itself in a little bit different manner. So, but you're correct too, Gerard, in that the reaction of this guy getting shot is kind of like, should we or shouldn't we? It's like, if we go this route, then it's going against the very thing that we hold a flag for.
Yep.
And then if you go this route, then it's doing something that should be done. It's like a decision probably going to be made one way or the other.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Because if it drags on, then it's going to be probably those on the, I guess, Trump followers. He's going to lose a lot of them.
Exactly.
And he's in a situation right now where I don't think they can afford to lose any more voters because they're already jumping ship with all this Epstein stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So you get another set of folks that, you know, are curtailing to the fact that maybe their hero has been assassinated, then you're going to lose a good portion of your followers.
Yep. And I don't know. I've got a son in the military right now, and, you know, he's telling me things that's happening, and for the most part, it's positive, you know, which I'm glad for him. but he was deployed just not too long ago to go to Poland, and they did a NATO exercise. And he said, "Dad, wow, we just left Poland, and look what happened."
Right.
You know?
Right.
So the world can change in an instant with everything, and you have to have the right leader to make the decision. You know, and it's unfortunate we don't have the right person making the right decision. You know.
Well,
So,
this is what this country wanted, and I think that a lot of us, no matter what race you are or what political party you are, you're finding out maybe we should have thought this through a little bit more than finding out what we're going to get. Because look, today, I think it was today. It was either today or yesterday. They're finding out that the inflation is starting to go up. It's starting to go up now. We were already in an inflation era, but now they're saying it's getting ready to go up, and it's going to start either yesterday or today. I forgot exactly when I heard it, but I'm like, oh Lord! And even the Fed said, I better start lowering interest rates. I'm like, boy, this is going to be interesting. Now it made me see why Trump wanted those interest rates dropped, because he didn't want his moves with tariffs to be looking like it's the cause of inflation, and it is.
Exactly, it's spot on. A tariff, it's spot on. You when you have that, the other countries, your trading partners, especially if you're putting it on your trading partners that had no skin in the game. You put tariffs on people that's really trying to hurt you, not trying to help you.
Well, this was one of the first times that I ever heard during this presidency that the folks that were with Trump and letting him continuously do all of these orders, they were thinking about bringing him to court to say that, you know, they want to have more control of is this move with tariffs a good idea or not, and they want to take it to court. This is the first time that I've heard the Senate and the House get with that.
And you're right. They have to really play this out. I mean, when we as a race of people back in the days, the only way we were able to get justice is through the courts. With,
but our Supreme Court is so tainted. You know, I really can't tell you what's going to happen. So, well, we shall see. We shall see.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Mr. D.
All right, Gerard.
Thank you,
Talk
sir.
to you. All right. Bye-bye.
504-582-9422 is the number to get in contact with us. What's the president of South Africa? Did you know that he made a deal with all Americans that wanted to move to South Africa that they would accept you? Did you know that? Yeah. He made a deal, and anybody that's living in America that wants to get away from this issue, they are saying that they will accept you to move to South Africa.
When we going?
You got your passport?
Yep.
You talked to Donna? Nope. Exactly. So, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Canada made the same deal. Now, the problem with these deals is not the fact that you can go or can't go. The problem is, will you hold or try to hold
dual citizenship?
Dual citizenship. Because the orange man is now telling folks that if you try to go and be a citizen in another country, that he's going to pull your passport and you can't come back. I think to myself, I'm like, what is wrong with this dude? If I don't like your politics, I should have the ability to go somewhere else. And he don't see it. You either gonna take it or get out. Let me ask you this, Wick. Do you think that this is the end of this political violence cycle? With all the stuff. And folks can call in 504-582. Even though I'm asking Wick, I take your calls too. 504-582-9422. Do you all think having this issue happening, do you think that this is the end of the political violence cycle for this issue? Or do you think that there is more to come?
I think there's more to come.
You think it's going to
because they want revenge.
Huh?
They want revenge. It's tit for tat.
Well, here's the other part of that.
I think they're going to.
Here's the other part of that. Do you think that this is going to be a tit for tat cycle of violence that's going to involve black people against white people or white people against black people? Because they're naming us as the people who kill Charlie.
Well, it's not going to stop until Orange Tangerine gets his wish of a race war.
What do you mean?
He wants a race war. He wants another civil war. He wants the white people to eliminate all people of color. And he is trying to ignite something.
Mm-hmm.
He used, like you said, words are very strong. His words are very strong because those fools believe every damn thing he says.
I'm just thinking that, if there ends up being that type of misconduct on his part, is that really going to be impeachable? When you are the president of the biggest melting pot in the whole world, do you think that somebody will then stand up and say, we can't stand for this no more? He got to go.
And what fashions of the word does he have to go mean?
Could mean any part.
Okay.
Do you think that would happen?
He's not going to get removed legally. He's not going to get removed legally. It's going to take other actions to remove him. I hate to say it like that, but I mean, I'm just being honest.
And look, I'm not wishing this upon him.
I don't wish it upon anybody, but
I think that if somebody tries to assassinate him and they make true on their word, we really are going to have a race war.
Because those two so-called assassination attempts, that was a bunch of bull. How you gonna spot a gun for so many, a barrel of a gun in a bush from over 100 some odd yards away? How you gonna spot that? No. And those capsules that he put on his ear with the fake blood, it was fake blood. It is what it was. They did diagnosis of it and said if it was real blood, all his hair, the side of his neck, his shirt, everything would have been bloody, and it wouldn't have stopped running. By the time he stood up and put that fist up, it was dried up already on his face.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of BS.
All right. Take your break.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to get you all
Yeah,
started.
because you trigger me.
I know. More coming up, folks. Final 15 minutes of the show coming up next.
AURN News.
Democrats on the House Oversight Committee just dropped another bombshell in the Jeffrey Epstein saga. A sexually suggestive letter from 2003 allegedly signed by Donald Trump for Epstein's 50th birthday. The letter, complete with a sketch of a woman's body, was included in a birthday album turned over by Epstein's estate. Analysts say the signature matches Trump's handwriting from that era. Now, the White House insists that it is a hoax. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt doubled down, saying Trump didn't draw the picture and he did not sign it. Trump has already filed a $10 billion lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal for linking him to the letter. But Democrats aren't letting up. They also released a photo of Epstein holding a $22,500 novelty check, joking about Trump, quote, buying a fully depreciated woman. The fight isn't just about who wrote what. This is about credibility, legacy, sexual assault, and who Americans will believe. For these stories and more, go to AURN.com or follow me across social media at Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Not a day goes by that the President of the United States demonstrates his reckless lust for power, his seemingly maniacal disregard for due process. Characteristics in bold display recently to the entire world with his controversial and questionable decision to order the U.S. military to blow up a small boat in international waters, no less, killing 11 Venezuelans he suspected of smuggling drugs headed to America. This raises many troubling concerns. Underscore the word suspected. When did it become lawful to kill suspects? There was no search and seizure to confirm evidence, though the Trump administration insists they have taped conversations indicating the boat was occupied by drug smugglers associated with a Venezuelan gang. Does that warrant killing them? Why not just stop the boat and arresting the occupants? Consider that the boat was in international waters and not carrying enough fuel to even make it to the United States. In fact, they had turned around and headed back to Venezuela after noticing they were being tracked by the U.S. military. Legal specialists have called it a crime to kill suspected low-level drug smugglers as if they were wartime soldiers. I spoke with Lieutenant General Russell Honore, a former member of the Joint Chief of Staff's counter-drug strategy team. He says, what happened has never been seen before. It's not normal. The general says the military is not a drug enforcement agency. What usually happens, he says, is the military uses sensors to track smugglers, turns the information over to the Coast Guard, who then attempts to stop, board the vessel, confiscate the drugs, and arrest smugglers. In the event that the vessel carrying the smugglers doesn't stop, the Coast Guard only shoots the engine out to disable the craft. Trump claims the Venezuelan suspects were a threat to America. Legal experts, along with top military lawyers, have rejected that premise. They question whether Trump has legal authority to treat suspected drug smuggling as tantamount to an attack on the United States. Even if one were to accept Trump's argument, I ask you, where was the threat when the boat had already turned away? Mind you, this is all happening within the time frame of the president changing the name of the Defense Department back to the Department of War, which dates back to the 1950s. A perfect fit, however, for Pete Hegseth, the current head of the, quote, War Department, unquote. A Trump sycophant who told Fox News that, quote, we smoked that narcotics boat and sent the narco-terrorists to the bottom of the ocean, end quote. Let me be clear. The U.S. military attack on a civilian boat in international waters allegedly carrying suspected drug smugglers is yet the latest attempt by Trump to test the limits of the law as he seeks to expand the scope of his presidential power. And with this sycophant Pete Hegseth in charge of the War Department, I shudder to think what would happen in a domestic situation, as took place during the Black Lives Matter protest when President Trump asked a military general if it was okay or legal to just shoot protesters in the leg. The general, of course, said no, telling the president to F off. What would Hegseth say? This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
What's the future for New Orleans? Will city services ever function efficiently? Our people need answers, not slogans. That's why the Nonpartisan City Services Coalition has asked the candidates for mayor how they plan to fix city government. Want to know what they said? Go to cityservicescoalition.com to see for yourself. It's time for action, not excuses. The next step is yours.
Paid for by the City Services Coalition.
I went on down to New Orleans and they all asked for Frank. On every street, all the people you meet, they all ask for Frank. They all know to vote for Frank, cause he has a plan. Make New Orleans shine, safe from crime, the best in all the land. Vote for Frank.
Paid for by the committee to elect Frank Skurlock for mayor.
Talk That. NOLA Education is all about awareness. Join me, Dr. Jaquil Ross from New Schools for New Orleans, as I chat with Darren Jasper from Self NOLA and Nakia Simmons from Carver High School about the new Sped Teacher Fellowship. Tune in for Talk That this Monday at 12:30 p.m. on 12:30 a.m.
WBOK. Online at WBOK1230.com.
You know, maybe I'm just so calloused by how many actual leaders and good people have been assassinated by state-sanctioned violence for the many years that we have been on this earth, that I just can't relate to y'all who are like, well, you know, you don't have to agree with the way someone lives to not agree with them being murdered. Yeah, I do. Because especially if their extermination was literally done in the exact context within which they said others should die. They had no problem with other lives being taken by gun violence. None. And so I do have to agree with how you live in order to care about how you died. I don't know why you don't.
Good point. Good point. All right, welcome back to the show, y'all. Final few minutes here before we get out, and also turn the microphone over to Arnie and Carrie. They're coming up at 6. As much as we can analyze, and let me first of all say thank you to all the folks that called in. I appreciate you all at least paying attention to this. Now, from one person to another, maybe I look at things a little bit different. We have been in a situation in the last couple of months, and I think it is going to get worse, that folks have started figuring out the only way they can get out of their hurt, out of their misery, out of their situation is taking the lives of others, whether it's your children, whether it is you at a park, work, wherever. Now that we have seen, not only is this for just any old Joe Blow, there is a letter, and I was not going to mention it today, but there is a letter that is circulating. I have a copy of it. I can't read it because it's that terrible. But what I will tell you from not just any old Joe Blow, not from just anybody that's sitting here and saying that they're going to do something to you or whatever. I'm talking to you as a black man, to all black people first, that there's a letter that is directed to other white men to kill you. That's what I didn't want to say. I was like, how you say this? And then I thought about it and I said, You've got to say something that is exactly what it is, terrifying. Not because I want you to be scared, and I ain't talking to everybody, because black men probably standing up and being like, I wish it would. I wish it would. No. I'm telling you this because you need to watch out for you, and you need to watch out for your family members. You might want to also look out for your neighbors. But I want you to keep your head on a swivel. Because as much as you may not be concerned about these issues, there's some crazy folks out here. There's no other way to put it. There's some crazy folks out here that just want to become popular. And they think they're going to get away. They think that the savior is going to come down, I'm talking about Taco, and get them out of trouble. And he's going to let you go. You're going to be in trouble. You going to jail if they don't put you in the chair. But you need to take care of your folks. Take care of your family. Take care of your folks. And watch out. Because there may be somebody that ain't watching out for you. Can you please do me a favor and watch out for them? These crazy folks out here today, they don't care. They don't even know your name. You ain't done nothing to them except by some chance got in their way. So be careful here. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me. I appreciate everybody for being a part of the conversation on today. We'll see you on tomorrow. Get ready to kick off the weekend. Other than that, y'all be good. Arnie and Carrie's coming up next.